Hello everyone, my name is Corey Vannertine. I'm here representing the Haunted Mansion. First of all, I want to thank all of you for volunteering to help us with this year's 2013 Haunted Attraction. This is the main entrance, Quietwood South Campgrounds. This is where you'll enter each night when you arrive, and we'll continue up the road and show you where you're going to be parking. So once you head up the hill, on your right will be the woodshed, and the left-hand side is the restaurant. As you come forward, you'll turn left on Quietwoods Road and head towards Quietwoods Pavilion. Alright, so once you head past the game room and the pavilion, we ask that everyone park in the open grass area, and please stay on the grass because our buses will actually be doing a turnaround, and we want to make sure that no damage is caused to your vehicle. So once you've parked, we ask that all actors assemble into the game room. And this is where we actually sign in each night to give you credit for your hours. And then this is also where you'll enter to get into costume and makeup. This is our holding area until the attraction opens each night. What do we ever do without all of these? I know social media is really important, but if you're going to volunteer out at the Haunted Mansion, we're asking that you leave these in your vehicle or give them to Barb Schreiner-Schmidt, our art teacher, and she'll hang on to them in the game room in a locked bin. Our spectators pay a great dollar amount for them to come out and get entertained, and we're just concerned that if people are spending their time on their cell phones rather than volunteering and doing their job, it's not good for those who come out. So if you can't go 3 to 4 hours without these, it's probably not best for you to volunteer at the Haunted Mansion. Throughout the corn maze, you'll see a couple of these houses, shacks. They can be used for scare tactics. This is also where all the fire extinguishers are located. So in case of an emergency, you would know this is where you'd go to get the fire extinguisher. Our actors and actresses who are working in the corn maze, one thing that we ask is that when you're working from the outside or the inside, that you avoid reaching through with the corn stalks, because what happens is a lot of these will end up getting broken, and then that keeps it from being covered from the outside. So if you can use the lower levels for scare tactics, but avoid reaching through the top and busting the top of the corn stalks. All right, some basic roles that I want everyone to be responsible about is, first of all, our house managers. This year our house managers will be Judy Jesse and Sue Marchant. They are the go-to people in case of any emergency, any questions, any situations that arise. Those would be the two people that you would want to get communication to, either in person or via walkie. Again, that's Judy Jesse and Sue Marchant. Our box office staff this year, our box office managers will be Jackie Garand and Beth Hansen. In the event of an emergency, they would be the ones contacted to call 911 if there was ambulance or fire that would be needed, or a police officer on site. So any communication would go directly to the box office. When we talk about volunteers, that includes you. The Haunted Mansion doesn't have any paid staff, and so throughout the handbook that you will actually have copies of, when it refers to volunteers, it includes you as students and adults who are responsible for following those procedures. One of the big things that we take very seriously at the Haunted Mansion is safety, and that includes the use of fire extinguishers. We have had to use them in the past, and they've been quickly managed, but we want to make sure that no one would be ever be caught in a situation that if they needed a fire extinguisher, that they wouldn't know how to use it. Out on the trail, they're located in the shacks as well as in the corn maze, and in the house, they are located on the outside perimeter, the interior walls. There's at least 12 fire extinguishers for you to retrieve. It would be very important for you, if you're inside the house working in a room, that you know where the closest fire extinguisher is, so in the event of needing one during the night, that you know where to access it. We use the simple acronym PASS to remember how to use the fire extinguisher. You notice on the fire extinguisher there will be a pin, and you want to pull the pin firmly until the plastic strap snaps off. Then you want to A, which is aim the nozzle towards the base of the fire. The first S is squeeze. You'll squeeze the top of the fire extinguisher, and the last one is to spread. Spread back and forth the material from the fire extinguisher, again at the base of the fire. Again, the acronym is PASS. You will pull the pin, aim the nozzle, squeeze the top of the fire extinguisher, and spread back and forth. The second acronym I want everyone to remember is RACE. Whether you're inside the house or in the corn maze or on the trail, R stands for rescue. If there would be a dangerous situation, that we ask that you be responsible for those who are volunteering with you as well as spectators. A stands for alarm. By word of mouth, if you have a walkie-talkie or someone nearby, to alarm and notify people of the situation. C means to confine. If you're in the house, there are some rooms that have access to doors. We want to make sure that those get closed. And E would be extinguish. If it involves a fire situation, that you again grab the fire alarm and extinguish the fire. The easiest way to access any information regarding the volunteer schedule or report times for this year's Haunted Attraction is by visiting www.hauntedmansionsoutherndoor.com. The report times for Friday is 5:30 with doors opening at 7 o'clock for haunting. We have our box office open from 7 to 10 p.m. So if you're volunteering and need a parent ride, it's important to let your parents know that the box office closes at 10 o'clock. That does not necessarily mean that you are free to leave at 10 o'clock. Many times we will go up to about an hour after by the time they get to the house. Our Saturday report time is 4:45. Lights Up every Saturday night is for younger children who do not want to be scared, and that is from 5:30 to 6:30. We then have a half-hour transition setup time, and then Lights Down begins again at 7 o'clock. We talked earlier about parking instructions. Please remember to use the parking back by the pavilion on the grass area. We do not want anyone parking near the restaurant or near the mini golf course because that is where our spectators plan to park. It's also important for you to show up dressed in black, as much black as you can. It means black shoes, black socks, black pants, black shirts or sweatshirts, even hats if you want. If you're planning on working outside, remember to dress in layers as some nights can get very cold. If you come dressed with logos or bright colors, it's very hard for you to blend in the dark, and certain rooms in the house require you to be completely in dark because of the use of black light. We also want to remind everyone that when you arrive that night, we understand many of you are coming from school or work, and so we will have volunteers here serving food prior to opening. We do no longer take breaks during the opening of the house. However, at one point, sometimes twice per night, we will have people go through the trail, corn maze, bus, and house delivering water. We provide most of our masks and costumes right here on site. But if you have an outfit that you think would be great to work with our Haunted Mansion, you are more than welcome to bring that yourself, and you're more than welcome to even complete the makeup on your own prior to coming if you'd like. However, we do have makeup artists on site to give you what you need. Anyone who is 12 years of age or younger is required to have an adult on site volunteering with them. We've just discovered in the past that many times kids, as much as they're willing and excited to volunteer, often lose sight of how long of a night it gets to be, and sometimes having a parent on site can handle some of those situations more quickly. Our rule at our house is no touching the guests. They're told they can't touch you, you can't touch them. So therefore, our haunted attraction on all 4 sites, trail, corn maze, bus, and house, is a no contact. When you arrive in the game room each night, it's also important for you to sign in when you arrive and sign out at the end of the night to make sure that your hours get counted. It's also great to know that if you want to come out with a group from your organization and volunteer together, please let us know ahead of time or when you arrive that night, and your whole group could work out in the corn maze or the trail and even have more fun working together. To get copies of the waiver, you can download them from the website, again at the www.hauntedmansionsoutherndoor.com. Your leader will have a copy of this DVD, but if you have other friends and other groups that would like to volunteer, they can access this training video also on the website. That is, again, www.hauntedmansionsoutherndoor.com. Nights at the Haunted Mansion can be extremely long, and therefore we ask that you persevere. We encourage you to work with a buddy or a small group. There's nothing more fun and enjoyable than coming out to the Haunted Mansion with a group. And if you can do that with your club or organization, it makes the night go much quicker and it's much more memorable as well. We ask that throughout the night, if you need to use the restroom or you get sick, that you somehow notify the person in charge in all 3 areas, whether it's the bus driver on the bus, the trail supervisor, the corn maze director, or the front of the house, to let them know that you need a break. We don't want any of the rooms left unattended. We also ask that you stay in character. I know it's very difficult because many times you know the people who are coming out to the haunted attraction. This is your opportunity to really mess with them. Try to figure out a way that they will not figure out who you are. It makes their experience more memorable, and it makes your job a lot more enjoyable. We just also ask that you please respect all the property here at Quiet Woods South Campgrounds. Mike and Chris Marchant have graciously donated the use of their facilities, and we just want to make sure that we show our appreciation by respecting every aspect of their campgrounds. Also, many of our props are very fragile. Some of them are purchased at high expenses, and some of them are borrowed. We just ask that you handle them with care, and obviously we understand that accidents will occur. So if you notice something that is broken, please don't be afraid to let Judy Jesse or Sue Marchant or any other director on site know. And finally, we just ask that you help spread the word about the Haunted Mansion. Word of mouth is definitely the best advertisement, and we're hoping this year to once again surpass 4,000 visitors. So anything you can do through social media to encourage your friends to come out to join us would be very grateful. If you choose to volunteer for this year's Haunted Mansion, all volunteers are required to sign a waiver. If you're under 18 years old, we also require a parent signature. As a volunteer at the Haunted Mansion, your roles may include acting, running controls, operating or helping out in the ticket booth, assisting with makeup, security, monitoring guests for safety violations, and at times escorting guests to the appropriate exit if needed. As an event volunteer, you understand that management must be notified of all incidents related to guest problems, equipment failure, and safety violations. As a volunteer, you also understand that your actions, both good and bad, are viewed by the public and directly affiliate yourself with the Haunted Mansion and its sponsors. You understand that if your actions are deemed inappropriate, your volunteer duties will be canceled and that you will be removed from the event without warning. On the back of each waiver, you will have an opportunity to dedicate or donate your hours to the group of your choice. Last year, over $24,000 was donated to Southern Door programs. If you have any questions, you can contact Judy Jesse at 743-9730 or Sue Marchant at 493-4266, and they'll be able to answer any additional questions you may have. On behalf of the entire production crew of the Haunted Mansion, thank you so much for joining us and helping to support so many student programs at Southern Door. It's going to be a spooktacular year.